Ready?
Good evening, everybody. Happy Friday. Happy hot and sweaty and sticky and airless Friday. Well, at least that's what we're experiencing right now over in the wonderful UK. Yesterday they said it was the hottest day of the year, and then today they said it's the hottest day of the year. So obviously today topped yesterday. So we're just getting all set up here. And I will mention that we may not have the normal lengthy Come Craft With Me session tonight. Normally I'm crafting away for a good few hours, but I think I'm predicting that it's going to be a shorter stint tonight because it's very hot in my craft room and I don't want to pass out. And sometimes that's just what might happen if you craft too much. That's what Craig tells me anyway. If you craft too much, it's bad for your health. Isn't that right, Craigie?
No.
No, of course not. We've got Ines here. Hello, and Ines. Hello from Vermont. G'day. So apologies, you guys, first of all, for last week. I think you may have known because I mentioned before in the previous Come Craft With Me, but last week there was no Come Craft With Me live session as I was in Birmingham in the UK at a craft show. And Heffy Doodle had a booth there and it was wonderful. I know some of you guys popped in to see us and to say hello. And one of the things that we did was, oh thank you Craig, one of the things that we did at the show was to actually launch something new on the Heffy Doodle store. Hey Laura! Laura, I've got a question for you. Stick around for a few minutes and I'll ask you. So we have now got something new on the Heffy Doodle store. We just sent a newsletter about it earlier this week, but we brought it to the show and it is a kit. So what we've done is we've put together 3 of our core products, which is the Wingman stamp set, the Wingman coordinating dies, and the Unbelievable stencil. And what we've done is we've taken those 3 items and we have put together painstakingly. I have hunted to try and get things to coordinate with it to put together a kit which would be awesome for people to work with and make some cards. So we have got a card making kit over on the Heffy Doodle store. And before I get cracking into any other crafting tonight, I wanted to give you guys the chance to take a closer look at the kit and some of the sample cards that were made at the show last week. And you've got the opportunity then to ask any questions that you may wish to ask. So this is giving you a little bit of a taster of what you might see in that kit. Oh, I'll mention first of all, the kit is, there's only limited quantities available of the kit. And we are already running quite low because it's been popular, which is fabulous. But let me go and grab all these bits and pieces so that you can get a good look at what is in the kit. I've got it all over the side here. I've got something that's threatened to fall on top of me, which I'm hoping it doesn't. All right. Come here, little box. Thank you very much. So, da 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 da. first things first, you will get your goodies in a box with a cute little birdie on it. We did have a crock on it at the show because I didn't get a chance to do the birdie, but now I've upgraded it to the birdie here. And this is just a prop at the moment because I've got already taken everything out. My hands are a bit sticky though. Hold on. Okay, so in the kit is £40 because no doubt you'll ask, first of all. The kit is £40, and if you want to know how much that is in your currency, you can pop over to, well, you can Google it or go to the website xe.com, and that website is really good at converting currencies. Now bear in mind that your bank, some banks can add like a fee or something, I believe. I'm not sure, but you need to just double check that if you're abroad. Okay, so we've got the Wingman stamp set, the Wingman dies, the Unbelievable stencil, and Laura Stirk today shared something on Instagram using the Unbelievable stencil and some sort of embossing paste, and I promise you it is beautiful. Oh, so some of you guys have already got it. So Snowy Splodges says, my kit arrived today, yay, yay, yay. And Donna says, guess what I'm doing right now? And Debbie says, mine arrived in the post today. Yay, I'm so glad that you guys have got your hands, some of you guys have got your hands on this. Before we go any further, next week, totally like legit, come craft with me. I'll be crafting with the kit, and you guys can craft along too and make the same projects if you want to make the same projects. Of course, you don't have to. You can make your own, do your own thing with the kit. But the idea was that we would have a video for people who bought the kit, and they can craft along with me on my Friday night stream. Yay! So let me run through what's all in the kit first of all, because I want to leave you hanging. We've got the Wingman stamp set, the Wingman dies, and the stencil, the Unbelievable stencil. So just to put things in perspective, these three elements together are £35. So for an extra £5, which is like, I don't know, what is pounds in dollars? That's like maybe $7, something like that. I'm not sure. So for an extra couple of bucks, this is what else that you get in the Wingman kit. You get a selection of paper. Right, so I'm in the UK, and in the UK they use A4 paper. However, I don't like it. I like the American sizes. So this is actually 8.5 by 11 card, which I've had specially cut for the store and for our kit. So if you are like me and you like to use, let's say, the background dies, etc., which are 5.5 by 4.25, and because of that you get more bang for your buck out of the 8.5 by 11 card, then this is going to be great for you because it's 8.5 by 11. So in the kit you get 3 pieces of cardstock, white cardstock, which is a good thickness for card bases. Okay, so that will give you a good amount of cards that you can make from your kit. Also in the kit there are 3 pieces of colored cardstock. We have got a yellow card. Once again, it is nice and thick. You can make this as your card base if you wish. We've got this beautiful aqua color here. Once again, it's nice and thick. And then we've got a black colored card. Now it is a thinner card, I will mention. So it's probably not thick enough to be a card base, but you can use that for mounting and layering and bits and pieces like that. So we've got our stamps, dies and stencil, 3 pieces of white 8.5 by 11, three pieces of colored 8.5 by 11. In addition to that, you get 2 pieces of A5. This is just stuck on here to hold it together for my photo. 2 pieces of A5 white cardstock, which is Copic friendly. So I've cut, this was actually larger, but I've cut it in half because I don't want people getting confused with this and this. The Copic works quite well on this white cardstock anyway, if you wanted to just the color straight onto your card base. But this one is a little thinner, so it's easier to cut out. And it is the DCP paper, which I always use for my Copics. So this is the Copic friendly paper. And in addition to that, you get 4 pieces of patterned paper. So these are actually double-sided. So perhaps if you really like the teal color, but you're not that keen on the orange, then you can just use the 2 teals, for example. And likewise, you've got the yellow stars and the red happy birthday on that. So we've got some pattern paper here as well. And they're scrapbooking papers, so you know that they're good quality, etc. And in addition to that, you get a Shabby Shutters mini distress ink pad. You also get a finger dabber tool so that you can apply the ink easily. You get a bit of twine. This is more like a crochet twine actually, so it's not too thick, which is nice. You get 2 action wobblers. These had to be imported from America because they're not really that popular. Well, they're not really that commonly found over here, and they were definitely a big hit at the show last week. And you also get some Ranger enamel accents, and I had to push it off to the side here, a selection of sequins with some of the red tones, black and sort of orange yellows, and then some whites in there as well. So a little scoop of sequins. So £40 for all of that. If you're in the UK, even though it's being sent as a parcel, the postage is still the same as the flat rate postage that we already have on our store. So guys, that's the Wingman kit. Like I say, we don't have masses of them, so snap them up if you're interested while we still have them. This is very much, this is a test for us. We've had people asking about kits, and we didn't know whether they were going to be like super popular or whether it was just something that was like a nice to have. So I mean, if they're popular and we think there's a demand for them, then we might actually do some more of these in the future when we have releases, for example, that we have a bundle together that supports the the stamp and die combo. So let us know your thoughts, and also please do share your cards with us. You can use the hashtag Heffy Doodle Kits. Heffy Doodle Kit or Heffy Doodle Kits, I can't remember. I'm sure you'll find it on there. So yes, lots and lots of things in there to help you get crafty. I think the most interesting thing, I know, maybe, well, to me anyway, and the most unique, is the fact that we've got cardstock, which is 8.5 by 11. Even though we're in the UK, it's really hard to get that. If you are an 8.5 by 11 kind of crafter, you may want to also keep an eye on our store, because I've got bundles of cardstock now, and I'm going to be putting some of that on the Heffy Doodle store as well. And some of the DCP Copic friendly paper, I'll be putting them in bundles on the store as well. So in case you haven't noticed, we have been sneakily adding some stuff to the Heffy Doodle store under the Craft Essentials category. Craig has got a couple more added this week. I think it's like memento, maybe some stamp cleaner and other elements like that. We've got some of them on the store now. So if you are placing an order, for example, and you feel like you need to top up on some of your essentials, you know, that's the whole point that we did that, so that you have the opportunity just to add them onto your order if you want to. If there's things that's not in that, not in our craft essentials, but you think really should be, feel free to pop us a message. There are certain things that I'm still working on obtaining, so I may already know about it, but I haven't yet got to either putting them on the store yet or sourcing them. Before I show you these cards using the kit, I just wanted to mention Crafty Not Shifty, Laura Gallimore. She says, I'm going to have a full unboxing video up this weekend, if that helps anyone. Amazing. Yes, please, Laura. Can you send me the link as soon as that goes live? Because we want to share that with people as well so they can take a look. Laura, I have managed to lose my Lawn Fawn acrylic block about that size. So if you get a chance to look through your supplies from the show and see if you see the acrylic block, it's not the biggish one like this, it's like this size. So I'm thinking either your tally may have accidentally popped it into your tote, or some cheeky sausage put it in their pocket. Right guys, let's have a little look. Oh wait, Snow says, my baby's lost and my other baby's won. Snow's mum, I think, is, well, Snow's heritage is Brazilian, and she lives in Belgium. So I think there's been a bit of a crazy evening for her. But congratulations to Belgium. Woo! Okay, so this is made using the kit. These are a selection of cards made by, I'm going to say us. It was either me, Tally, or Laura, Crafty Not Shifty, at the show. And we were just having fun, just demonstrating the different ways to make some cards. We've gone quite simple because we wanted to show the people at the show that it really doesn't take a lot of work to make a beautiful card. So the only thing that's not included that you will need, obviously a die cutting machine and a pair of scissors and some glue, but also some coloring mediums. We've got the distress ink and the dauber, but for our little critters we have used some alcohol markers here. So first of all, we have used the twine here to hang the little birdie, and then he can sway back and forth. And then we've got the pattern paper has got this beautiful happy birthday print on it, and it's perfect actually for making like a sentiment strip across, but like a focal element. And we've got our leaves as well. So that's the first one up there. This one's got a little bit of, I think, glue's been stuck on it, or something glue gunky has landed on it. We've got some grey ink, or maybe it might even be second generation stamping over here to create like a background effect. And then this little guy is on his wobbler. I love these guys. Woo, woo, woo. And then we've added the little speech bubble here, and it says shake your tail feather. So cute. And some of the pattern paper, the teal pattern paper, just to add a strip down the middle. Super cute. This one was Laura's, and I think it just shows you how vibrant and beautiful that teal color is. And then she's used coloring pencils for this one. And she added a little extra that's not in the kit. It's a Wink of Stella, but that is available on the store as one of our craft essentials. Next up, we've got Shake Your Tail Feathers. We've created a spotty background using the finger dauber. And then I think this must have been Tally that did the bird. And then we stuck it onto the card with some foam here. So that's Shake Your Tail Feathers. This one we have used the enamel accents in the background, so it's hard to see. If I turn it like this, you may notice that we have some embossed lines coming down to create this diagonal effect. And where the lines intersect, we've added a little splodge of the enamel accents. In hindsight, enamel accents at a show, when you have a little tiny workspace and things are everywhere and people are picking up, I think there was 2 or 3 that got smooshed because it does take a little while to dry. But you guys are going to have lots of fun with this. I think it really gives a dimension and some texture to the card. And once again, we've added some string here for this real cute little swing effect. This one we've created a border or a frame around a central focal image. I think that that unbelievable stencil is really, really popular. Really nice to see. Okay, this is one of my ones, and I did some 2nd generation stamping with this little cute guy. I actually forgot to stamp to the side first of all. And so there was like a tail over here that was solid black, so I had to trim it down into a central panel and then stuck that onto some yellow cardstock with a little stand and a tropical. He reminds me of like a cocktail or something. So there we go. I'm showing you how you can create some nice backgrounds. So this one we've inked up a background to make it green and then gone in over the top with some more ink to create this darker leaf or foliage. And then we splattered it with the ink pad at the bottom here and added a colored pencil birdie at the bottom. Now I think this is one of Laura's. Laura, you might be able to remind me that, but it looks like Laura has put down a strip of the Heffy tape in the background, is what I'm predicting, to create a rectangular panel in the background for our focal feature here. And then we've got birds of a feather stick together, and then these I think are alcohol inks as well, alcohol markers as well. Were these colored with the Altenew markers? Do you know, at the show we had my Copics, Tally's Copics, I had the Altenews on the table. I think Laura had some stuff and pencils, so I can't honestly tell you which was which. I know when Tally did this one, she used Copic. Oh, I also had some Nouveau pens as well because I bought some to test them out. So they're a little bit of everything. So for this one here, then we used the finger dauber to create some stripes and then came in over the top with the stencil again, just for once again a different look. And then created some like anchor lines to draw the eye across. Now I think my paper was a bit wet. It splotched a little bit, but then this is colored pencil. I think it was Prismacolor that you had, Laura, was it? Next up we have another one which features the enamel accents, and Laura has used the yellow starry pattern paper, and it just goes to show you that you don't need a lot. Even it's just trim down the paper, stick it on, and add one of the cute little colored birds with a sentiment, dress up with enamel accents. And this is the kind of thing that you know, anyone could do. And that's what we want. That's what we want, to make it accessible to people. But I love the way she added the dots behind such amazing texture. And that inspired me to use the enamel accents just to create a little bit of a frame in the middle of my white card here. Happy birthday. It's clean and simple. There's not much to it apart from the enamel accents. And there was one other card which Craig didn't like, which he hid, but I'm going to show it to you anyway, because I tried to use the enamel accents to write the word. Now it's really warm at the moment, so the enamel accents is a bit runny, which means it was harder to get a consistently thick line on the enamel accents. But it gives you just an idea of another way that you can use the enamel accents to add to your projects. And we added some dots around it as well. So you guys, that is the Wingman card kit. Keep an eye out for Crafty Not Shifty. If you're not subscribed to her on YouTube, you might want to take a note to go and subscribe to her. She has lots of card making videos. She also is part of the Love from Lizzie gang, and she has I think is it 10 cards, one kit that she does as well, which are always entertaining. Now next week, next Friday, I will be crafting with the Wingman kit. So if you have a kit, or if you don't have a kit, you're still welcome to join. If you do have a kit and there's things that you want to learn and you want to know, please email us, go over to the Heffy Doodle website and go to the contact us section, let us know, and I would be happy to address any questions and things that you have during my live stream, and we'll walk through and we'll make some cards and we'll have some fun. And I'm going to try really hard to stick to the things that are in the kit. So maybe you're on holiday next week, or maybe you're not on holiday next week, but you're planning on going on holiday. The plan is that I want to have this as a kit that can be used as a standalone, and you just need some glue, some scissors, you know, you just need your essential craft kit like black ink, acrylic block, etc. But the rest the kit will do for you. Maybe you take it to a crop, maybe you want to do some classes of your own, so you can absolutely buy the kit, buy 5 kits and then do a class with some of your friends, etc. All right guys, any questions, just shout. But I've got 2 new goodies here that I want to play with. This is a card. I love it. It's beautiful. It's from my crafty friend Sindhu in India, and she was getting rid of some of her older stamps. So I was like, hey, please may I have a look? I want to buy some stamps. And these are the 2 that I picked out. So I'm thinking that I'm going to make a card with these, with at least one of these tonight. If I can survive. So this is from Simon Says Stamp, and it says bring the sunshine. So it says sunshine is coming, hang in there. You're my sunshine, you make me happy when skies are grey. You always bring the sunshine. To be honest, right now I'm really fed up with the sunshine. So I might not use that one. This one then is from W+9, and I don't think I have very many, if any, W+9 stamps in my collection, and it's called Curious Forest Friends. So I might decide to use this one to create a little scene on my card. I think that would be cute. Elaine says, I love that one. I disagree with you, Craig. I also never did get to use my detail blending tools. So I think what I might do is play with some of these as well. All right, let's see what we can come up with for tonight. And I am going to start with a piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock that I'm going to chop in half for my card base. So everyone, what did you get up to this week? Have you been watching the football? I don't really like football, but it's just like everywhere. I actually don't mind football. I hate the background noise of football. That sort of constant cheering kind of situation. I'm not a fan of that. But nevertheless, it happens. Okay. So, of course, I don't have any, oh, pardon me. What's that? Battery? No. Just forgot my button. There we go. I don't have dies for these, so I'm trying to plan out what I am going to do to turn these into my card. This is a sweet one. I like this little bear as well. I might have some, maybe the bear coming out here and one coming here and then one on the bottom. That might work. Yeah. What I might do is stamp them directly onto my cardstock, mask them, and ink around them. Let's see how that works out for us. So we want this one sort of here. And then this one down near the bottom. And then I want this guy. So we have 3 bears happening. This guy I want on a log, but I need to stamp him first of all. And then mask him off so that we have the background. Busy cataloguing my crafty goodies on Sortly. Oh, what is Sortly, Elaine? You'll need to tell us about that. I'm not familiar with it. So I'm going to just add, stamp this once, lift my lid, and then put some of my Heffy memo tape in there to stamp the little bear on here, and then I'll use this as a mask. Now, I will mention that sometimes the magnets are a little bit tall, so you don't get an even impression. So his ear didn't stamp, for example, because it was too close to the stamp. So you just need to move it away and then stamp it down. But the great thing about having a Misty is that it's all lined up perfectly, so you don't have to worry about it. Hi Aiden, how are you doing? Okay. So there's a little bit of moisture left in my wipies. They're suffering a bit. And I'm going to cut out my mask using my Heffy memo tape, which is perfect for this sort of thing. It's low tack, so it won't leave a residue on your paper when you pull it off. One of the ladies at the show, she was saying that one of the previous years at the show, at the craft fair thing, she bought this big roll of a clear sticky masking paper thing, and that it would just pull her project to shreds whenever she tried to pick it off. It was just too sticky. You won't have that problem with my Heffy Doodle tape. Yay! Oh, I remember I was supposed to make a new home card today. 2 of them actually. Because our neighbor is moving away, and because of that we're getting new neighbors. Alright, so this stamp set has a little branch that we shall add onto this dude. Like this. And because we've masked off Mr. Bear, now it will look like he's sitting on the branch. Huzzah! And I'll stick him back onto my stamp backer so that I can use that another time if I want to. All right. So I'm going to have a ground. I'm going to add a ground here. Behind this guy. Which I'm going to add with a little bit of twisted citron, I think. It's a nice vibrant color. Google it. It's software on PC and app, and they sync. So I have folders with like Heffy Doodle with subfolders for each stamp set, and then I put in tags. So if I'm looking for a turtle, you should like search for a turtle, and then it will show. Ah, amazing! I forgot to mask off my little guy. I think I'm gonna have to do that. At least the bottom half of him anyway. I'll just grab some of my Heffy memo tape. Stamp him onto there. And trim him out. So a massive thank you to everyone who came to see us at Birmingham show, the Creative Craft Show last week. And we had a lot of people asking us if we would be attending the show that is happening in November. So we're yet undecided, but let us know what you think, if we should be there. And also we're keen to know what you want to see, what you want to do. How can we make it a pleasurable experience for you guys? Okay, a little twisted citron here. to grind this guy. He's rolling around with his honey pot. Laura says, I used Heffy Tip for the first time at the weekend and I love it. Yay! I am glad. All right, so we're going to add some color to these guys. Hiya. Oh, he's coming with some water for me. You can tell I've got a husky and horse. Thank you very much. We are a bit into moth territory. I think I saw something out of the corner of my eye and went, ooh. All right, so I've done this straight onto the front of my card. So I'm going to actually color in with some colored pencils, which is something that I very rarely do on my craft stream because I get lazy and just reach for my Copics all the time. So I have here a set of 24 Faber-Castell Polychromos. No, I'm not printing anything. I don't know why it's decided to wake up. And I also have 3 packs of 24 Spectrum Noir blending pencils. So we shall see what I end up using. I'm going to try and use these. The Polychromos blend really nicely. They're not as waxy. So I'm going to try and use these, I think. Although I did use Laura's Prismacolors at the show. So I may need to get some of them. Donna said, I had a good time. I've been to the November one and it's usually gigantic. That's how Donna would say it. Gigantic. Yeah, I've heard that. So I guess the question is, in a good way or in a bad way? These little bears are so cute. What's up, Craigie? You need to stand there with a big fan fanning me. No? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm going to be relying on you guys to make sure that I keep my eye out for moth attacks. Lots more people, says Donna. So guys, do you have coloring pencils? And what coloring pencils do you like to use? Have you tested? Would you recommend any in particular? I keep drinking my water. Irish body is not used to this heat. So for my colouring, I've started off with a darker brown, and I've gone in some areas where I think some of the natural shading will happen. I am not an expert at all by any stretch of the imagination. But where you have like this arm is further back than his face, so I think there'll be a bit of a shadow cast over that. That's kind of the way I work with my colouring. I think maybe if I was going to improve my colouring, one of the things I would like to do is get a better understanding of light direction. But I'm a bit too impatient, to be honest. I just want it. I want to keep going. I'm not really a perfectionist when it comes to colouring. I think I'm just like, I'd rather have it done than be working on it for ages and ages. I remember at secondary school, we were doing some colouring in with colouring pencils, or colouring art with colouring pencils. And one of the girls in my class, Mary Louise Bates was her name. I remember so clearly. She did this colour pencil masterpiece, and I mean masterpiece, of a frog. It looked like a photograph. Honestly, it did. And when she handed it in, she was so pleased with it, and everyone else was like, oh my gosh, did she do that, touching it, because it looked like a photo. And all I remember is our teacher, Miss Stevenson, who would just walk around with sandals and socks on. Obviously she was clothed in her hippie outfits, but that's the kind of person she was. She'd walk around with her sandals and socks, and she just basically told Mary Louise that she didn't understand the brief and that she took far too long to do that one piece of work, and because of that she got a lower grade or something. And I couldn't believe it. It was like injustice. What? I can't believe it. Alright, so I've got a mid-tone brown here. It's more of an orangey brown, to be honest. And I'm going over my darker areas and lighter areas. Kind of trying to bridge the gap between the two of them. Wow, I stepped away for a bit, and your colouring looks great. It's so well blended. Is it without I haven't touched Gamsol at all yet. This is just the polychromos, and it's literally only 3 colours. And this one, and this one. There is a nice grey though that I'm going to add to his little snout. I do prefer the polychromos over my Spectrum Noir, because with the Spectrum Noir you can feel the waxiness. It's almost like you have to push harder for it to actually go onto the page. I think he is so cute. Definitely need some honey down here. I don't actually have any Gamsol, but I do have the Spectrum Noir blending solution. Which is the same sort of thing, I guess. The world's tiniest little leaves. Of course, now I need some sort of a colour for my tree bark. What colour is a honey pot, people? You should colour with pencils more often. It looks so good. Prismacolors are also waxy. Oh, Prismacolors are also waxy. I didn't find Laura's Prismacolors as waxy as Spectrum Noir. Crafty Not Shifty says, I've honestly had good results with Crayola. Yes, also I have like Cheap and Cheerful colouring pencils, the watercolored colouring pencils, yeah, the aquarelle ones, and they're brilliant. Yeah. An orangey brown. Well, let's start with an orange and then work on the brown. An orangey brown. Nama nama nama, honey is yummy. It's true. Let me see if I can use my Spectrum Noir. More orange than brown. I think that's more orange than brown. See what we can use for here. I'd like there to be a distinct colour difference between my little bears and the branches. I also need to invest in a real good pencil sharpener, I reckon. Branches are a little more orangey than the bears at the moment. I'm gonna darken that up, I think. Add some more texture along some of these lines. I like to do some crosshatch, but then I also think that little circles help you get better results with so you don't get, well, essentially pencil lines, I guess. So far, so good, I reckon. Gamsol still, oh, hold on. It was my understanding that Gamsol dissolved the wax in Prismacolor type pencils and allowed you to move the pigment around and wouldn't do much for polys as they're oil-based. Is that correct? Gamsol still works on polychromos. I've used it with them. Yeah, I think I've used, well, my blending solution was probably the same thing. I watched a really good YouTube video where the woman compared a large range of pencils from the cheap and cheerful to the professional ones. Wish I could remember this site. I'm sure if you searched for a colouring pencil comparison or something like that, you might be able to track it down. When I do watercolor, certainly in the past, I've always enjoyed coming in with my pencils then and adding some texture using some of the colored pencils. So for example, my green here, I could add some little tufts of grass to help build up some texture. Around and about. And in particular for the like the little bears, I like coming in and adding some little like fur, I guess. Let me see what I can do if I've got any. So do tiny little strokes to emulate fur, which would work a lot better if my pencil was super sharp, which it does not. It's a bit like when you do dot detail using your Copics or whatever. I need to upgrade to a different colour. And a bit more of a pencil line on it. Little short lines to give some more texture in a couple of different colors. Here, let me move over to the close-up, although we are missing a light because I dropped one of my lights. So is that any better? And the more colors kind of do, oops, the more of that kind of storybook look, I guess, that you're gonna get, because you have more depth to your card. All right. So, I was going to come in with my new dot detail stencil and the detail blending brush, test these guys out. But before I add some dots coming down here, do I want a sentiment or should we add that later? I think I'll add that later actually. All right, so these are the Ranger detail blending tools. They feel quite soft compared to these ones. Maybe they're the same. Obviously not as thick. A teeny weeny. Press my button. And I'm going to come in with some tumbled glass, I think. Try and add some texture. Oh well, some colour anyway. To a couple of these dots. So as predicted, the foam is really squishy. So when you're moving it around, it kind of squishes up into nothing. Doesn't hold a lot of ink. These are just my initial thoughts, by the way, guys. So maybe as I keep going, I'll get better at using them or something. So I'm doing every other dot, so it's not as intense here. I could come in again with another color if I wanted to, which I guess is the joy of these little brushes, eh? So that one's covered. This one will be here. I find it really hard to get with the normal size brushes like these. I find it easy to do like really intense color and then light color, sort of as they're fading down. I don't find that as easy with these, probably because the ink pad, the little foam bit, is so soft. But this is why I try these things, you guys. A real light touch down here near the bottom. Now the question is, did I get them all? This one looks like it's uneven, so I'll come back in with that one. I'm going to come in with a bit more on these top ones so I get a gradient of color. Here we go, there's one missing here. Lucky for me, I have my Heffy tape to help me. All right. I I think it looks super cute. I like it. I think I'm going to come in with some orange as well, though. So that we get a bit of variation of color. Plus, what's the point in having the little tiny ones if we're not going to make use of them, eh? Wild honey. Do I want wild honey? Or spiced marmalade? I'm actually going to go for dried marigold. Which will hopefully bring out some of the color in the honey pot. Okay, this one needs a one. And this one. Orange will fade into my background there, so I don't have to worry too much. Right here. And then get super light down here. I like that it's subtle. I think I need a little more yellow tone. So I'm going to come in with some squeezed lemonade on top. On at least some of them anyway. Just to kind of give that more honey feel to it. Honey bear. These do need re-inked quite a bit because it's such a tiny area. I think it looks super cute. I'm going to add a bit of my tumbled glass around the edges. And the tumbled glass is so light, I'm not going to really worry if it goes over the little bear or anything like that. What do you think so far? Cute, I think. All right. What is my sentiment? Sentiment on here is wishing you a fun-filled day. I couldn't have done it without you. And thank you. Let me see what else I've got. I think the honey dye is probably going to be a bit on the big side, even though it's like the perfect dye for these little critters. Let me see if I can find it and compare it. What's that? We could have a hello honey, maybe. Maybe out of an orangey cardstock to match my orange background polka dots. Well, this is a very thin piece. So let me just mount that onto a piece of card so that it is a bit stiffer. All right, and I'll use my baby blue machine for this. We got a lot of comments about the baby blue machine last week at the show. I am a big fan of this little guy. Honey. Yeah, that's cute. Let's get some brown to create a background. Like to mount it up, I'm going to go and have a look at my stash of scraps. I'm sure there's a brown in there that'll do the trick. Just about. Sorry I'm late. Is this stamp one of yours? This is not a Heffy Doodle stamp. This is a W+9 stamp that one of my friends gave me, that I thought that I would christen today. But I am using the Heffy Doodle honey dye because they're playing with their honey. They're eating their honey. Cheeky little bears. So I've cut one out of a orange color, and I've cut one using a brown, and I'm going to lay one on top of the other slightly offset so that it looks like it has a shadow effect, which you'll see better when I put it up here. Like this. So I'm thinking it might be a bit on the big side for balance. Unfortunately, the stamp that I thought that I would use, which is from Honey Bunny Boo, at the show, we discovered that the two stamps are missing. We've got Hoppy and Hello are missing. I don't know where they went to. So I was going to have Hello Honey on there. I do have this, Hello Honey. Of course I don't have the Hello, but I'm sure I've got another Hello in my stash somewhere that we can use for that. It's such an adorable stamp set. Oh, you get so cute. Little bears. There we go, honey. My Hello go missing a lot too. Yeah, I guess I probably use them a lot, but well, I don't know where it would have gone to though, is the thing. Unless Piper was using them, but most of her stuff is fairly close by. Maybe I'll look at the bottom of my oh, here's a Hello looking at me. Maybe it's at the bottom of my stamp stash. So this is from Ariel Peekaboo Pals, and there's just a little plain and simple Hello, but it'll do the trick. And which pencils did you use? Which did you like the best? Hello, honey. The pencils that I used two different sets. The first one was my Faber-Castell Polychromos, and then I also used some Spectrum Noir pencils. I do prefer the Polychromos, but I've only got 24 of those colors. However, most of this was done using my Polychromos anyway. Three colors for the bear. Oh, my embossing powder tub popped the lid in my craft tote. So not only is my embossing powder now half empty, but everything has got a horrible powdery touch. I'm going to round these corners. Oh, maybe I'm not, because this is not working. Powder got in the bits and made it not work. Oh, that's fine. I needed some elbow grease. All right. Hello, honey. Let me move you over to the old close-up cam. Here we go. Hello, honey. So we have our cute little bears. I have not used any Gamsol on them, just used plain old colouring pencil, Polychromos and Spectrum Noir. And then I used my detail blending tool applicators, which is like these wooden dowels with the foam in the end, to add some colour through a polka dot stencil. Use the word hello from Ariel Peekaboo Pals and the word honey from Honey Bunny Boo Heffy Doodle stamp set. I think it's really sweet. And look at that. And it was also really good fun to use my colouring pencils because I haven't used them in so long. And it's a one-layer card, guys. It's another thing that I haven't done in ages and ages and ages. When was the last time that you guys did a one-layer card? Huh? That's my question to you. Guys, I am really sorry, but I'm going to have to tap out tonight and leave you guys disappointed. Well, hopefully not too disappointed. I, at the start of this video, shared the Wingman kit. Next week I will be here. I will be creating cards using the Wingman kit from Heffy Doodle. We have limited quantities, so snap it up if you're interested in doing that. And hopefully if we get it sent out early tomorrow or Monday or whatever, it might even reach you by the time that I'm doing my live next Friday. There will be other live sessions even if you don't get it by then, so don't worry about that. Just let me know and we can put in another live session. But yeah, I can't wait to play with it. But right now it's 30 degrees in here and I am boiling. So I'm going to tap out and leave you with my the rest of your Friday evening. But beware, because next week we're going to have some fun with this kit. Woohoo! I'm so excited. Looking forward to next week and to see what everyone comes up with. Thanks for a nice stream, sister. Thank you so much. Keep an eye out on Crafty Not Shifty's YouTube so that she shares what she's been making, and also the old unboxing video of the kit, so she'll be sharing with everyone as well. All right, so I'm hoping that maybe our weather changes at some point soon and we're not suffering through this heat that my Irish body is not really equipped for. Sorry to leave you guys. I shall see you again soon. I may even do another stream midweek if I get a chance. All the best. Goodbye. Love y'all. Bye.